Throughout this video, we will be downloading the key points from Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, into our subconscious in order to aid us on our journey to success. Written in 1937, after 25 years of research on some of the most economically successful individuals, Think and Grow Rich is one of the universally recognized personal development masterpieces of all time. The book's philosophy centers around the idea that success in any endeavor can be reached through mental visualization and imagination put into action. To put it in simple terms, you can become anything that your mind deems possible. As a result, your mind becomes the one thing that can either stop you or propel you towards becoming the best version of yourself. Napoleon Hill's first point is that thoughts are powerful things. In the first paragraph, Hill argues that thinking is more conducive to success than any other feature, including money, education, and specific knowledge about something. The man that thinks he can accomplish something is already a step forward towards the finish line. But thinking in itself might be too general of a term. That's why Hill translates thinking as a mixture of initiative, faith, willingness to win, and resilience. Failure is also taken into consideration, being considered a necessary part of the learning process, but it gets us closer to the end goal only if we take it the right way and decide to persist nonetheless. There is also another prerequisite that must be bared in mind. We must be clear about the goal that we want to achieve. George Harrison once said, "If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there." We must take the time and energy to be specific about our desires in order to gain clarity on what it will take to see them to fruition. Napoleon Hill's first element of the success equation is desire. How bad do you want it? Of course, all of us have different goals and dreams for ourselves, but have you ever asked yourself this question? It is only when we really, really want something that we will do whatever is necessary to achieve it. Therefore, in a hypothetical overall scheme, desire is one stage that links thoughts and actions together. Thoughts lead to commitment, and commitment leads to action. Remember that the Wright brothers imagined a machine that could fly through the air. Henry Ford envisioned a carriage without horses. These people had two things in common. First, they were resilient enough to overcome other people's critiques and repeated failures in their attempts. Second, they had a vision that was clear enough that belief, in combination with a burning desire, inevitably led them to success. It is only when you completely burn all the bridges that are holding you to the past and start thinking in a different way that you can win in life. You can have either excuses or results, not both. This brings us to Napoleon Hill's second element of success, faith. Faith, in Hill's words, means convincing yourself that your goal is achievable. Faith can be trained and improved through self-suggestion. If you believe in something or have a specific end in mind, practice convincing your mind of the opportunity to realize that goal. After a while, your mind will start to subconsciously act on behalf of your belief system. In a nutshell, you become what you think about. Purposely avoid negative emotions and focus all of your energy on positivity. This world is now more abundant than ever, and we have no excuses for not realizing our fullest potential. Hill also mentions the importance of writing your goals down, repeating them day in and day out for 30 minutes a day, and promising yourself that you'll be relentless in their pursuit. Actually, he suggests a detailed process for injecting both ambition and faith into your goals. This process includes going into a tranquil place where you know you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and repeat out loud your affirmations. Repeat the affirmations every day and night. Put a copy of your affirmations in a place where you can see them every day and read them both before you go to bed and when you wake up. Half-heartedly repeating your affirmations will not move the needle. Make sure that while you do repeat, you can feel the sense that your goals have already been accomplished. Stretch your imagination to the max and put your emotion into your thoughts. Napoleon Hill's next element of success is specialized knowledge. Hill proclaims that there's two types of knowledge. General knowledge, which is definitely more popular, especially among university professors. It is, though, not very useful for the accumulation of wealth. That's why professors, in most cases, are very intelligent, yet not particularly rich. Hill himself says that there's no such thing as knowledge is power. Rather, he calls it potential power. It becomes actual power only when intelligently directed through specific plans of action and well-defined purpose. If you're not specialized in your products, skills, or services, chances are you're never going to be wealthy, successful, or even happy in any endeavor. This type of knowledge can be acquired very easily through different sources, not only schools and universities, but also libraries, specialized courses, online materials. Even some form of cooperation with others represents a higher form of knowledge. Education does not stop on graduation day, and those who believe that are eternally condemned to mediocrity. Napoleon Hill's next element of success is imagination. If there's one quote that completely reflects the theory upon which this element is based, it would certainly be that of Albert Einstein's. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. As men, we can translate thoughts into things. We can create anything that our mind conceives and deems possible. If not properly filtered and nurtured, our minds can be both a blessing and a curse, our greatest ally or our worst enemy. If properly directed, our mind can function as a catalyst for progress and development. Hill states that imagination can take the shape of synthetic imagination. Through synthetic imagination, our mind works mostly through our past experiences, successes, failures, and the like. Its job is limited to finding new combinations of past material. Creative imagination, on the other hand, is the form of imagination in which impressions and inspiration take place, and it works only when our mind vibrates on a higher rhythm. Creative imagination can be stimulated by a strong desire and a clear and well-concocted plan. When we think about the future in terms of opportunities, we discover a source of inner energy that will almost instantly make us more prone to work the plan and stick with it through to the end. Ideas can be turned into wealth pretty easily if accompanied by great strategies and rigorous organized plans. Are you a decision maker or a procrastinator? Procrastination is probably one of the main reasons most people aren't satisfied with their lives. Procrastination means giving up on yourself. It means paying too much attention to others' opinions about you and the possibilities in your life. What do you want your life to look like? Draw your ideal life on a piece of paper, and after comparing the potential life with your current one, identify what is currently lacking, be it more resources, more positive associations, or more powerful routines and habits. Spend the rest of your natural life waking up and going after your goals. It's important to listen to everybody's opinion, be respectful to them, but remember, they're just opinions. Take them with a grain of salt, smile, thank the people who express them, and continue your path regardless. Make sure you stick by your decisions and adjust accordingly. Napoleon Hill's next element of success is the mastermind alliance. So you have vision, desire, faith, knowledge, and imagination. What's next? At this point, it's pivotal that you surround yourself with like-minded people whom you know you can trust on an intellectual level and that can give you noteworthy insights and sparks which you can draw inspiration from. The combined effort of multiple high-performing minds is what allows new ventures and once-upon-a-time garage businesses to thrive and become established realities in today's world. Hill says that once two or more minds get together, a third more powerful mind is created, one that can push itself way further than any individual could do on their own. You should assess your strengths before creating or thinking about creating a mastermind alliance. What could you bring to the table? Do you have the knowledge, influence, or resources to accomplish the end goal? If not, make sure you put yourself in a position where you can actually make your contribution to the cause. Remember that a mastermind alliance is not about completely outsourcing your idea, waiting for its resolution, and taking credit if it succeeds. You have to do the grueling, arduous work, which includes assuming responsibilities for yours and your team's efforts. Napoleon Hill's next element of success is sexual transmutation. I know you're probably wondering what sex has to do with success. However, the two are more connected than you think. Sexual impulse is one of the most important desires we experience as human beings. Through the transmutation process, we intentionally redirect those sexual energies towards other objectives, enhancing our creative faculties in the pursuit of those objectives as a result. An above-average sexual nature is a typical feature of highly successful people. It doesn't mean they use it in a physical way. They simply convey sexual energy through what they do. We can acknowledge our sexual desire and consciously decide to translate it into enthusiasm and passion for our profession and achievements. Sexual transmutation requires an enormous amount of willpower, but its return on investment is more than worth it. The next element of success is harnessing the power of the subconscious mind. The subconscious part of your brain is like an archive. It receives and contains your thoughts and impressions regardless of their nature. It registers everything, and it acts based on your predominant thinking patterns. So if you feed your brain with the vision of wealth and success, it'll work its way through making those aims physical reality. Make it a habit to implant positive thoughts in your mind and mix them with your vision and faith. Then communicate these plans to your subconscious through self-suggestion. Knowing that pessimistic impulses are much easier to create and a lot harder to destroy, try as much as you can to shut them off nonetheless, or at least distract your mind whenever you find it wandering around them. Again, don't expect it to be easy. If you grew up in the same setting the vast majority of the current human population did, chances are you've been brainwashed for years with a lot of false beliefs such as money is evil, the economy is worsening, Having goals is egotistic, and the likes. Understand that people who talk this way never experience a meaningful life and a rich existence. They probably never will. Do yourself a favor and shield your mind from them. Protect your spirit from contamination at all costs. The next element of success is how we react to fear. Fear is one of the toughest opponents on the road to financial, mental, and spiritual success. Fear stops a lot of people from becoming their best selves, and it will try to stop you too if you let it. Fear has many facets. Hill traced a list of the 7 of which he considers the worst ones. 1 is fear of poverty. Poverty and wealth can't coexist. So if your desire is that of becoming wealthy or even financially stable, decide how much riches you'd like to accumulate and make it a point to completely refuse poverty in your mind. Fear number 2 is fear of criticism. History conditioned us to turn our nose up at criticism. In the past, any opposing views were casted as inappropriate, and the one who expressed it was highly likely to be killed. We must get over this aspect of our subconscious and learn to stick to our path even when we receive criticism. We can even take criticism and use it to our own advantage. Fear number 3 is our fear of ill health. This fear stems from 2 sources. The first one is represented by the opinion of those negative people that surround your life. It seems like they enjoy being cynical and pessimistic just as much as they hate living life to the fullest, and this spread of negativity sooner or later will affect you and your thought patterns, making you increasingly likely to constantly overthink about negative outcomes in your own existence. The second source is embodied by self-preservation. With the media constantly pushing images of every negative circumstance that can possibly happen to us, it is hard to break free of worry. We must be able to come to terms with death as a natural part of life. Fear number 4 is fear of losing loved ones. Fear of losing a loved one is one of the most common yet most terrifying for some feelings that can be experienced. It stems from personal past experiences. We must do our best to cherish each moment we spend with our loved ones and make the most of our time with them. Fear number 5, fear of old age. Less sexual attraction, more likelihood of getting ill, less mobility and strength. These are all natural consequences of old age. Instead, we must reframe our elderly years as a chance to gather more acuity and life experiences. Some of us refuse to acknowledge the positive side of aging. Living in constant fear of its arrival will take away from the present result. Just like birth and growth, aging is part of life, and it is something that we're all going to go through. If you're already in that stage, take it as a chance to be a fantastic parent, grandparent, or just a beautiful human being, spreading your wisdom and knowledge with those you care about most. The last one, and one of the most dreaded, is the fear of death, which is related with the fear of the unknown. What does death mean? Where am I going to end up? Will there be any heaven or hell? These are all legitimate questions, but we can't and will never know the answers. Death is a mysterious, unpredictable event, and unpredictability scares us. At the same time, though, being afraid of death is useless. Death is necessary, and like aging, no one ever escapes from it. Maybe it's not even as bad as many people make you believe. Maybe it's just a transition, and maybe that transition is towards something better. Who knows? Learning to handle our fears will help us live a more fulfilling life, as well as help us filter through our thoughts. The less time we spend dwelling on our fears, the more time we can spend on building our better future. That concludes our simplified version of Napoleon Hill's teaching from Think and Grow Rich. I hope it was easy to digest, and I hope you guys can easily implement this into your lives. If you like this kind of simplified knowledge, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next one.